Good afternoon. Welcome to Recovering Perfectionist Mama. We are on episode 3, When Institutions Emotionally Cut Off After Harm. Why does the system go cold when harm is exposed? Let me talk to you about a familiar feeling. Have you ever noticed how quickly empathy disappears once things get complicated? How people all of a sudden don't want to be involved because they feel like they might be somehow blamed for something that happened as a result of the institution, whatever it is. For instance, like let's say there was a suicide at the jail, right? People want to say, I don't know anything about that. I wasn't around for that. I have no idea. That was not in my job description. So clearly, I don't know anything. They don't even want to say, I'm sorry for your loss because, I think it goes back to the whole idea of no one wants to be caught saying, I'm sorry. Because if they say, I'm sorry for your loss, it's like, well, what? Were you somehow involved in that? People just want to kind of back away slowly and not have any indicia that they might have done something wrong or that someone might think that they were involved somehow. Here's why it happens. Ultimately, because a lot of people are afraid of being sued. A lot of people are afraid of losing their jobs. A lot of people are afraid of a lot of things. Some of those things are possible. Some of those things are not. And ultimately, why that happens is because institutions know that there's liability, right? There's a potential to be sued. There's also the image protection. For instance, back when I believe it was State Farm had the issue where they were using used parts to fix cars that had been in accidents. That gave them a black eye. I know when I was living in Orlando, there was an issue where they didn't want to have homeowners insurance anymore because of the hurricanes and all this other stuff, but yet they wanted to continue to have car insurance. Again, that's image protection there. You also have a threat to authority. A lot of people, especially higher level like law enforcement and things like that, struggle with not wanting anything to threaten their authority, which is a very similar parallel to family systems. You think about the fact that a lot of family systems are a lot like our institutions. Silence is golden. So if something goes wrong in the family system, there's some sort of breakdown. Guess what happens first? They try to rally the wagon, everyone around the wagon, and they're like, first, what we're going to do, we're not going to say anything. We're not going to say anything about Cousin Bobby, okay, because he did something wrong and he's probably going to prison. We know nothing about it. We don't want to know about it. But there's always that one person. Are you that one person? Are you the truth teller? Because I'm the truth teller in my family, and it has gotten me into some very fun, in parentheses, sticky situations, and has caused me to be the truth teller and the person that everyone thinks that I should probably just be quiet. But as with anything, not going to happen. So silence is king in that situation when there's something that goes wrong in the family breakdown of the family. And then the next step, if silence doesn't work, minimization. You know what? Actually, that really wasn't the case. The actual case is, I truly think that Uncle Bobby was probably framed because that one guy, his bunkie or whatever you want to call him, got a deal with the prosecutor, and the prosecutor didn't like your cousin Bobby because, whatever, I don't know why, but he didn't. So, it's really not that big of a deal. And when that doesn't work, you know what? Let's not talk about this anymore. Like, we've already talked about it. It's already been dealt with. We just need to move on from this. This really is in our life anyway, because Bobby is your cousin. He's not your brother. He's not your dad. He's not your uncle. He's your cousin. Just forget about it. It's good. Right? And the psychological truth is institutions aren't designed to repair, they're designed for control. And oftentimes, a lot of families run very similar to that, right? Let's stay efficient. Let's sweep things under the rug when we can, because we don't want to deal with the fallout. We don't want people to know our dirty laundry. We want to have the face of people who are respectable, who do the right thing. We don't want any shame coming upon our family name, which is definitely important. I mean, which is kind of not a bad thing to want, but sometimes you can't help that. So ultimately, talking about in true recovering perfectionist mama form, women internalize systemic dismissal. I think it's because women generally get dismissed a lot more frequently than men do. And I think a lot of times, no offense, gentlemen, if you're watching and tuning in, a lot of men are very good at dismissing women, right? For whatever reason. Oh, it used to be back in the 20s, women are hysterical. Women are overly emotional. Women can't handle their emotions. They fall apart at the drop of a hat. Really, gentlemen? Really? And why healing feels harder without acknowledgement. Healing feels harder without acknowledgement because there's a lot of things that women do that don't get acknowledged. Sometimes, as a woman, it's really difficult to not feel like a second-class citizen at times, right? We get paid less. People are constantly, I don't know, one of the biggest things that I have a problem with is I have men who, I've seen men and I've experienced men who think it's okay to touch someone that they've not asked permission to touch, right? And I'm not talking about anything like sexual harassment or whatever, but what I'm talking about is I'm the type of person, I really don't want anyone I don't know touching me. I mean, even if I do know you, if I don't know you to that level, if you are not my spouse, if you are not like my child or someone that I know and that I trust, please don't touch me. Oh, you have an eyelash. Let me get it. Here, let me hold you. Let me grab you. Let me squeeze you. No, don't touch me. Did I give you permission to touch me? I want to say that. And recently I had that happen to me and I'm looking at my husband and I'm like, the save me look. Please save me. Right? I mean, I'm not usually a damsel in distress, but you know what? That makes me like, I don't know. It doesn't make me happy. And I get a really intense look on my face and I'm just like, please help me from this person. So healing can feel harder without someone saying, hey, I understand. It makes sense. So in closing, institutional coldness is not proof that you imagined harm. It's proof that discomfort exceeded your capacity and their capacity, because that's not what could happen. Well, thank you for tuning in, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and hopefully you'll come back and see us again soon. Again, we appreciate it very, very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.